guys, so let's talk about how to go about getting into expediting. So some of you have asked about that. How do I get into it? I've covered it in other videos, but sometimes when I've talked about it, I've put it in other subject matter, so the title probably didn't specify. I don't recall if I have a video with it specifically talking about it before. So if I do, and some of you watch it, sorry for being repetitive. But anyhow, let's talk about how you go about it. Now, me personally, how I got into it was actually by sheer luck. I have been around the transportation industry all my life, but I had never known of expediting as far as hauling freight in a van. Known of hot shot, flatbed pickups and the trailers being pulled behind the pickups, things like that. So me personally, I got into it just talking to a friend. That friend happened to be out doing expediting, and that's how I got into it. I just basically, I knew I wanted to do it and asked him to get in touch with his fleet owner and give me a job, which is what ended up happening. Now he found it off of Craigslist. That's how he found the job. So that's the one avenue, is going through Craigslist, Indeed, whatever kind of want ads that you are aware of, and you'll look under the transportation section of it. Driver needed for cargo van, over-the-road driver needed. Who knows how to be listed, but just look for it. Look for the ad asking for a driver for a van, and that is going to be either for some type of local courier job, or it's going to be for an over-the-road expediting job. Now, the second way is obviously most of you is to Google it. That'll get you some results, obviously. And there is a site online. It's called Expeditors Online. They also have a classified ads to where you can either post, say, hey, I'm a driver looking for a fleet owner, or there are also ads on there that are fleet owners or companies looking for drivers. Now, the most effective way and the most widely used way is Facebook. Getting onto Facebook, getting into the expediting group, which our group is Transportation Life, Wheels, Wings, Rudders. If you go to the search bar at the top and either put in that name Transportation Life, you'll find us, or just put in expediting groups or expediting jobs, and you should come across several groups. Get into as many of those groups as possible. You can then, once you're in the group, go up to the search bar and type in looking for driver, and you will probably find posts by previous fleet owners that have posted looking for a driver. And you can also obviously create a post saying, hey, put all your pertinent information in there, whether you have any experience, put in there how old you are, the need to age, because if you're too young, it's difficult to insure you, so there's not going to be a lot of options. There will be some that will basically take you on, and they're probably doing some underhanded stuff to be able to insure you and get you rolling, but just understand that that's going to be a difficult situation if it's usually under 24. It's pretty difficult. But anyhow, put your age, put where you're located at as far as where you live, whether you're single, have a family, whatever, because that does matter, because fleet owners are more apt to go with a driver that doesn't have any kind of real ties that make them always want to get home or miss home, because it ain't that they don't care, it's that through experience have found that drivers that have a family of some sort at home, they just don't tend to work out as well. But anyhow, put that, obviously, if you have any kind of commercial driver's license, any kind of endorsements, anything like that, obviously helps. Any kind of driving experience or experience in shipping and receiving in a warehouse, because that is helpful. Because you obviously are aware of how the shipping and receiving works, as far as, you know, bill of ladings and things like that. Some of the lingo, some of the ins and outs of picking up freight and delivering freight. So that is all helpful. Aside from that, there's really no other options besides, you know, just word of mouth. You happen to, maybe somewhere you work, an Expediter delivers there, and you happen to see them, talk to them. I've had several people get into this via that. Just happen to be a security guard or a tow motor operator or a packer or something in a warehouse, and they just see the vans coming in and out, and they're like, "Hey man, what do you do?" And, you know, just get all the pertinent information. Now, on top of that, as you're getting into Expediting, that's how you find a way to get into it and get a job driving. Alright, so with all that being said, that's pretty much the gist of how you go about finding a job in Expediting. It's not very difficult. Just do your due diligence, and I definitely stress and advise you to do research on the industry if you have no understanding of the industry, because one of the things you're going to come across, obviously, is pay. You have no idea. If you've never done this, you have no idea what you should be getting paid. And please, do not get into a job expediting without understanding what decent pay is out here. Because that's a little bit of why rates do get shit on, and drivers don't make it, is because they come out here and they jump in a van for a shit fleet owner that is basically gonna try to take every little fee and money they can from them, because they don't know any better. I've mentioned it before that you hop into a van, you have no idea what a good rate is. You have no idea what a good pay is, because for one, most fleet owners are going to tell you that, oh yeah, you can make between this and that, you know, but they don't make you understand what you have to do to get that. So you just hop in a van, you think, okay, I get a job. You have a bad week, you only get a few hundred miles, and you was already broke when you came out. Guess what? You're about to be even broker, because you just paid to be out there on the road, which everything's more expensive, and you didn't know how to, you know, take care of your money or whatever it may be. But it's just, it turns out to be a bad situation if you don't know some of the things, and that's a basic thing to understand. And for that, anything as close to $1 a mile as you can get, obviously, is great. Now, the standard in the industry, a good solid rate, honestly, and it sounds messed up, but it's about 80 cents. 80 cents and above, you're doing okay. Below 80 cents on average, and that's, you're just, you know, you're going further down. You know, it should be higher than 80 cents, but the thing is, most of the even more reputable carriers aren't giving much more than 80 cents, if they are giving 80 cents. So just to give you a bar or a standard to go by, 80 cents you should do okay, especially if it's a company that can move you and the fleet owner or the company, the carrier, is not, you know, nickel and diming you to death with a charge for paperwork, tracking, ton of escrow every week, drug tests, background checks, you know, just exorbitant fees that just is going to keep you in the hole, and you're going to be miserable at first. So just kind of be mindful of those things. And that's the short and sweet of it. So if you have any questions that is pertaining to this subject, please, in the comment section, please feel free to ask, and I will answer your questions as quickly and as thoroughly as possible. So I'm going to jump off here, and hopefully this helped you out, man. Until next time, be safe.